The Chicken, Banana, 1967, Trash Talk, Watermelon Iguana, Pancakes.
We're hanging overtime! We're hanging overtime! We're hanging overtime!
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Alright, Panther fans, here we go. We got the Maple Leafs tonight. As far as I know, we got Bubba. Bubba is, oh, you need him a little bit more. We'll give him some more head scratches, alright? Bubba is needy just like Fluffy. Now, Paul Maurice almost did exactly what I asked for with the lines. So we got Barkov with Verhaeghe and Reinhardt up top. And he went back to, for some reason, with Rodriguez, Bennett, and Tkachuk instead of Cousins. The third line is as it should be with Tarasenko. But the fourth line, Stenlund, Lomberg, Gadjevich. Mwah, I love it. Now, most likely, I don't know if Nick Cousins is hurt or just resting. As far as the injury report said, and no, it said that there was nobody hurt. Like I said, in the last game, I saw him kind of take a knee, and then he went to the locker room. So maybe he's just getting some rest like Lomberg. That's fine. We need Rodriguez to be a functioning part of this team. So I'm not sure that that's going to be his final resting spot on that second line next to Bennett and Tkachuk. But that's not what's important. What's important tonight is 2 points. I don't care if it's in regulation. We can go to overtime. Doesn't bother me any. I know there's a few people that are kind of looking, down at Toronto thinking they could catch us. I mean, it's not impossible. If we lose both games in regulation that we have against them, that would definitely be something that could happen to us. However, given our history and Toronto's history, they could catch us, and that would just mean that the series against the Leafs would be starting in Toronto, and a Game 7 in Toronto. And as a Maple Leaf fan, I'm pretty sure you guys aren't interested in that. Maybe you are. We'll see how that goes. What do I want to see tonight? I just want to see one 20-minute period of balls to the wall, exactly how they're going to look in the playoffs. I don't want 60 minutes. I don't want, for freaking crying out loud, do not do the crap Panthers where they play a good 5 or 7 minutes to start the game and then look like ass and then check their watch with 5 minutes left and be like, we got to score 2 and try to win the game. Can we please just look like ourselves in the third period? Just kind of sleepwalk through the first and second period, get down by 2, and then look like ourselves in the third period, prove that we can come back and get the hell out of town because we got to play Montreal tomorrow. It's all wishful thinking. I'm ready for the playoffs. So are you. Toronto, meanwhile, who knows where they're going to end up, right? They have a back-to-back tonight. Tonight and tomorrow against Tampa. And the final games of the season, the Leafs play Florida on the 16th, and that's the Panthers' last game. And then the next day is Leafs and Lightning. So that last 2 days, 16th, 17th, I mean, that could decide the division, second place, third place, the wild card. Those last 2 days, that's going to be lit like firecracker. I'm so ready, man. I'm done with the regular season. Let's get 2. 2-0 Leafs after 1. I did say I only wanted the Panthers to play one good period of hockey, and I did say I wanted them to get down by 2 and come back. That said, that was quite possibly, at least in the top 5 of the worst dog shit periods that the Panthers have played all year. I don't think it was the worst one, because I know we had one that was pretty bad a few games ago. They're sleepwalking. They're coasting all over the place. They're not mentally engaged. It's the same thing for weeks now. And again, I get saving energy, but god damn, these guys better be freaking sure that they can just turn it on at the drop of a hat, because, again, that's another first period where if we played anything remotely close like that in the playoffs, it'd be a miracle we win a game. Move on to the second period. Well, it's 5-1 Leafs. When it was 3-1, I thought I'm not going to rant now because you want to save it for the third period, because you never know. Even at 4-1, I thought don't bitch too much now, because you never know if we make a miracle comeback. Now, if the Panthers, I'm laughing. I'm for you Toronto fans that are going to be watching this, I'm not seriously suggesting that I think that this is going to happen. That said, it would be hysterical. It would just be, if we actually came back and won this game, I would just love to see the meltdown. But unfortunately, it's going to be the Panthers' meltdown tonight. Disgusted. That's the only word I can use for the effort right now. I don't like losing, but if you play a hard-nosed game and it's 3-2 and you lose, you lose. You lost the game, okay? But this consistent defensive failure over and over and over again and leaving guys alone in front of the net, I'm starting to get concerned. At some point that this team, are they consciously not trying to start the engine? Like, are they, at this point, the only way that they can be giving this effort level at this point in the season is if they are consciously, purposefully not giving all their energy and saving it for the playoffs. Because when you're playing a good team like we're playing tonight in Toronto, and they're trying to get points, and you're not caring about the result on the ice, what you get is 5-1 after 2. And the only hope that we have is that they genuinely are just sitting back and coasting, and they don't care if they get first, second, third place. I think they're trying to get the 8th seed the way that they're playing. This is disgusting beyond all measure. Two things. What I do not want to see, I do not want to see us get 2 goals in the third period and win the third period and then, you know, think that we've got something solved. And number 2, Leaf fans, I'm very curious. This is really the only question I have about this game. I'm very curious if Leaf fans are going to either A, use this result as a reason to get overconfident about a potential playoff series, or B, learn your lesson from the past and realize that this probably doesn't mean a whole lot. Just look at how many times the Panthers beat the crap out of the Lightning towards the end of the season, and then the Lightning would beat the crap out of us in the playoffs. So there is that angle too. But as a Panther fan, this is getting old. It's not enjoyable watching this. They're not even trying at this point. Let's move on to the end of this frickin' nightmare. Oh, you know, what did I say? I said only play. I said I wanted them to play 1 full 20-minute period, and that they did. I can't argue with what I asked for. That's what I asked for. I said go down by 2, not by 4. But this team likes the challenge. And if it wasn't for a post here and a post there and just some ridiculous almosts, we might have got that game tied, but we just couldn't finish it. What the hell's happening here? I feel like somebody's kicking me. The puppets are coming alive and kicking me. Almost. Almost is almost, but it didn't happen. And then Toronto gets the empty net at the end. And I'm just curious, before I move on, I'm curious for Leaf fans, what was that like? I'm curious if after the second period you were like, yeah, we can beat this team. And after the third period you were kind of like, oh, maybe I'm not so sure. Because, I mean, I thought the Panthers played better. But to be really honest, that looked more like Toronto blowing the game than the Panthers taking it over and winning it. So I'm just curious for you Leaf fans if it kind of went the same way. Now the good news, bad news is that Verhaeghe left, didn't come back. Hopefully he's okay. That's the bad news. The good news is we saw what Vladimir Tarasenko will do if somebody gets injured and he gets put back into the top 6. So I mean, maybe you go top heavy, Barkov, Reinhart, Tarasenko, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Kachuk, and you put Rodriguez back with Lundell and Luosterainen. Maybe you do that. Rodriguez had the game on his stick, basically. He had the 4th goal on his stick way back after we scored the 3rd. And he does what he does. He makes all the beautiful moves, and he shoot, and he beats the goalie and off the post. It just won't go in the net for this guy. And it's just unfortunate because if Rodriguez could cash in just the normal average amount of times when he has chances, the Panthers would be damn near unbeatable because then they would have 3 scoring lines where we only have 2. And I kind of think maybe Zito thought Rodriguez would come here and pick up his game a little bit like most players do. And he's been a nice player. He's fit in, but he hasn't exploded in the same way a Bennett or Reinhardt or any of those guys have. So, Bubba rode the bench in the 3rd period. Bubba, we talked about this, Bubba. I'm a wee bit concerned about Bubba. I mentioned this in the last recap, and I'm not saying those goals were specifically or even ergonomically his fault. But remember, I said he went on that massive run in the playoffs, but he also had like 2 or 3 weeks before that he was off. He got sick, he recovered, and he was just resting. And maybe that's was a contributing factor. He has not looked like his Vezina self. Really, he hasn't looked like his top dog self since much after the All-Star break, to be honest with you. I'm not overly concerned, but like there was a breakaway and Stolarz made a ridiculous, absurd save. That's what we need. Bubba's not been making those saves, so it's one of that. It's that situation where it's not the goalie's fault. Those are goals that would be ridiculous saves. But the way this team is constructed, we need our goalie to make ridiculous saves. So Stolarz came in and he kept us in the game, and then we didn't do it. We couldn't finish. It was 5-1. I'm not surprised. It was fun for a half a minute, right? When we made it 5-3, I thought maybe we could do it, and then time kind of went on. But $1.50 left. It's 5-4. It's like, okay. We could totally tie this game. And it just wasn't meant to be. Now, he did also, Maurice changed the defensive pairs. He put Mikla on the bottom pair with Kulikov at the end, at the 3rd period. I don't think that was necessarily, he wasn't punishing Mikla. He was giving Kulikov probably much less ice time. And what I also was thinking was that Maurice wanted to go and just roll the top 2 pairs a little bit more, and there's more offense there, obviously, Montour, OEL, than with Mikla. Look, Leafs beat us, okay? There's no way around that. Whether you want to say we played like ass and then almost came back, it doesn't matter in the standings. We got beat. Now, for anybody who is worried that Toronto is going to catch us, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't want to play so poorly that they catch us. Well, the last game of the season is Panthers, Leafs in Florida. So if by some reason we absolutely needed that game for 2nd place, I think we would step it up and win the game. That said, if we finished in 3rd place, whoop-de-frickin-do, number 1, because the only difference there would be we'd be playing Toronto, and we would be starting out on the road, which, number one, for this team is actually a better thing, in my opinion, when we play on the road. And number two, if they did play so poorly that they got knocked down to third place and lost that home ice, maybe they're going to get irritated and agitated, and, Maurice would get on their ass, and maybe that'll light a fire under their ass if they actually did play poorly enough to lose place. Whether or not the Panthers are going to win the Cup does not depend upon if we have home ice or not against the Leafs in the first round. To me, it's 6 and 1/2 dozen of another. You know what I mean? So the point there is I'm not worried about that. We already know pretty much we're not getting first place in the conference. We might still be able to catch Boston. We play them. So, but look, I'm ready for playoffs. I am so done with these regular season games, who we're going to play, who we're not going to play. And the last thing I'll say about that is, of course, I appreciate all the engagement and everything. I keep getting the question over and over and over and over again, who would I want to play in the first round? What I will say is what I said at the beginning of the season. It was, I don't care who we play in the first round, as long as it wasn't Boston, because I think there's zero chance that Boston would allow us to upset them 2 years in a row in the first round of the playoffs. I think whatever magical beans and juju Boston has, if they were ever going to win another playoff series, it would be round one against the Panthers. They're just not going to let us sneak up on them. The rest of the way, Toronto clearly can play with us and beat us. I'm not interested in Vasilevsky. I wouldn't mind playing the wings. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, although, the Alex Lyon juju is there. Bottom line is, I don't think it matters a whole lot, because I think we're either going to have to beat, Toronto and Boston, or Tampa and Boston, or Tampa and Toronto, and then either the Rangers or the Canes for the most part. And they're either going to find their groove, and Bob is going to be Vezina Bob, or we might not win a round, because for this team, there's no in-between. There's no leeway. We need all the lines going. We need the defense to be playing right, and we need superb goaltending from our goaltender. And it all has to be working right, or you get nights like this. So we'll play our last, 7 games, and then the real games begin. I'm ready. You're ready. Nick and I, True, not Twisted Wrister, Nick, True World on the stream, we have something coming. You guys know I like to do my musical numbers to start the playoffs and start the season. We got something real coming. We got something really, really good this time coming. And Nick from Twisted Wrister is actually coming to visit us. He's going to be here tomorrow night, so he will be on the stream of the Panthers and Canadians. So we'll have fun with that. I will be live tomorrow at noon. Anything else? Oh yeah, buy the book. Hey, I want to thank everybody who bought the book. It takes a while for Amazon to get the money to me, and the money from everybody that bought the book at the beginning actually helped pay my house payment this month. I needed that money, so it worked out. Appreciate that. The name of the book is Lessons in Faith and Sports. It's on Amazon. That's the back cover. That's the back cover. Lots of pictures. Good book. I love it. Of course, because I wrote it. It's a bit too expensive. I only make $5. Amazon costs a lot of money. It is what it is. I apologize for that. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow at noon. No points. Again.